Hey everybody, it's the Bald Bearded Bicyclist, and it's been a little while since I've posted. This is the Hamburg road race from Hamburg weekend, which took place, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was able to get the crit up, but a little late on this one. We're picking up on Feddick Road. When we first turned onto it, Drew Lloyd was on the front and brought the pace up, really stretched things out for a little bit. He got a little bit of a break. People brought him back. But now there is a solo break off in the distance. And we're all kind of getting ready, knowing that the real big climb on Hag Road, the steep climb, I should say, it's about a 3-minute climb, is going to be coming up. So nobody wants to push it too hard, and the wind on that Hag Road climb is really going to be a pretty strong right to left crosswind. You can see in the map in the right corner that smaller bottom section of the map. That is where it starts going uphill on Hag. So it gets a little interesting in a bit here. You can see that solo rider. He's from Once Again Racing. Is off the front still. You can see in the rear cam, Drew Scott, who is, you'll see shortly in this red kit. He puts in an attack on this little punchy climb. A lot of people follow him. And I'm behind Ryan Snow, who's really strong rider, and I was kind of thinking, I'll just stay on his wheel. I mean, he'll bring us up, but he smartly actually lets a gap open, and then he punches it real quick, and I just did not respond quick enough, and then by the time I'm putting in an effort, I really didn't pick it up quick enough, and I realize I'm pulling the entire rest of the peloton here, and I don't want to be doing that. I'm still pulling pretty hard, but I should have, looking back on it, just either tried to jump across really quick or full on sat up and let people come around me. By the time I really start to ease off and the hopes that people will come around me, I had already put in a good amount of work. My heart rate's at 170. That means I'm working pretty hard. But guys finally come around me to close that gap, and I'm able to jump on some wheels, so I don't have to close it all by myself. But definitely used up a little bit too much energy. But that's pretty much where I believe it all comes back together. I think that they may have caught that front rider. So now it's all back together, and the next turn is where it kind of ramps up to the Hag Road climb. Jumping ahead, we've turned onto Hag, and this is just kind of the lower ramp up to it. It's slightly uphill, but you can see it's only 1%. The actual climb gets very steep. So in looking back, I really should have gotten further up in the group. I did move up a couple of spots just to get in a draft, but being a bigger guy, I really should have gotten more to the front and sagged this climb a bit more. And my positioning really did hurt me on this one. We'll watch how it plays out here. But I did, in my past videos, you'll see I like leaving a little bit of gap going into these climbs just so I can start putting down some power, and then the gap will close a little bit. But at this point, I already there's only 3 riders behind me, so there's not really anyone to grab onto if I were to let myself fall back and sag climb it. So I'm really trying to push it, and I think I screw myself up here because the rider in front of me really slows down, and I had to grab a handful of brakes on an 11% section here, completely dumped my momentum. And as you can see, that's when everyone starts pulling away a little bit, even though now it's only 6%. It picks up again, and I've lost so much momentum that really, it's just tough to get going at that point again. And I'm seeing gaps open. I know I got to jump up in front here. But at this point, my heart rate's 173. I'm really hurting. And I think I just got content. I was like, oh, I'm about to get on. And then all of a sudden, there was a big surge at the front. And people put in another attack over the top, which is a great move and what you should be doing. I should have expected that. But it hurt me, and I'm just seeing them right away, and kind of demoralizes me a little bit. And I sit up, but then all of a sudden I'm watching them, and the gap stops growing. So even though I'm hurting, I kind of get re-energized and realize, if I don't want this to be the end of my race right now, I really got to jump across, because they've given me a second chance by slowing back down. But, lesson learned, it's always, I guess in my head I was thinking, oh, I'm hurting way more than everyone else, but, they had just enough energy to put in a tiny bit of an attack after that hill, and had I held on for just 10-15 seconds longer and gotten on that draft, I wouldn't be fighting so hard right here. And I knew there were guys on my wheel, but I knew they weren't really in a position to pull, and I just knew I had to put my head down and do what I had to do to try to jump across. So my heart rate's just pinned at 170. I mean, my max is, I think, 182 or something like that, but I mean, I only see it get over 175 if I'm sprinting. So 170 is very high for me. But I'm seeing them get closer and closer, and that's definitely pushing me on. I'm reaching a downhill section, which is really helpful for me. Just, again, as a bigger rider, I can use that to my advantage. Come on, get there. It's so tough watching this back, and just like, you just want to close that gap. And as I'm sitting here with a lot of energy and not exhausted and pooping my pants, it's just like, why can't you just close that gap quick? But I'm seeing the guys on the back just coast, and know I can get up there now. So now I'm finally soft pedaling a little bit. And here Jim just tells me to just jump on him and hang out on the back. But I kind of realized I don't want to be on the back, because that was what got me in this position in the first place. So I take the downhill as an opportunity to move up a little bit, and jump ahead a tiny bit. So this is where I'm taking the opportunity to just move up a little bit. I've realized that for me, it is, even in a road race, I think it'd be more crits where you're doing technical turns, but I cannot stay on the back. I need to be able to respond and see when there's surges and when people are making moves. If I'm late to respond, then it's just gonna hurt me way more. So I'm really not working hard, but I am nice and close to the front. Got a little bit, it's mostly a headwind here, but tiny bit left to right. And goal is to just hang out, watch other people's moves, and not do more than I have to. So a little bit of a scary moment here. It's a pretty steep downhill section. We're picking up speed, 40 miles per hour. The rider in front thinks we got to take that right turn, and everybody slammed on their brakes. And that was a very, very close call. Luckily, everybody kept their cool, didn't swerve. Steve Welling, my teammate who was second wheel, was able to see what was going on and kind of yelled out, straight, straight, straight. And luckily didn't actually make the turn. So all was good. We all stayed up, but definitely some high heart rates there. Was some brakes almost locked up, but all was well. So we were organized for a little bit, and then Drew puts in a big attack on the right here. You can see everybody's just picking up the pace, and it's getting pretty strung out. It was a really good time to attack because we had slowed down a little bit, and no one was really organized. So I'm trying to do a better job of jumping across there, 600 watts or so, and I'm seeing the turns coming up here, so I'm able to kind of sit up and definitely had to hit it hard out of that turn. Maybe should have carried a bit more speed through that, but back on and approaching the finish straight here. So we're on the second lap of 2, and we're about to turn onto Fedek, where that first really big attack came. I know that the pace is going to pick up, and honestly, I just am feeling like it's not my day. I'm already really wiped from making those mistakes on the first lap, having to chase, and losing my momentum on Hag. And I just see these guys pushing it, and I just sit up and decide that I'm gonna take it easy. I really could have given it more, and ended up just kind of TTing the whole rest of the way, and I'm not really taking it easy. So I really probably had the energy to just keep pushing, but sometimes it's hard. In the moment, your brain just telling you to stop. So I got to work on just pushing through sometimes. But I'll fast forward. There are a couple of interesting moments. Almost had a dog run out in front of me, but I did catch one rider, rode with him for a while, and then once we hit Hag Road, I just let him go because I knew he was a better climber than me. I just said, you know what, go for it. I'm not even going to work with you. So this was a bit of a tough race for me. I I know I can't really do those longer sustained climbs, but something I should work on for next year, so we'll see. So in this downhill section, I actually catch, this is the second rider I've caught. I yell out to him, I say, you know what, just get on my wheel, we might as well ride together. I have no problem letting people jump on my wheel. I'll just do work, but you know, if I'm gonna do a TT in, it's more fun to ride with somebody, so why not give him a heads up. I didn't expect him to pull at all, and I think he does put one or two in, but we just kind of rode together to the finish, so it was a little less lonely. So here, before the finish, we kind of ride through this neighborhood, and I saw this little dog here, and I had a feeling he was going to run across. I said, watch that dog. And just like I thought he would, he ran right across. So you always got to keep your eye out. But made the finish a little interesting. And I just pulled the whole way. So Alessandro, who I'm riding with, was not going to try to sprint and take me at the line because of that dog. He just let me go, and it was a really fun course, fun weekend, but I definitely got to work on those climbs, and be back next year. Hopefully I can have a better finish. And I'll finish off with a little interview from Drew Lloyd, who took the win on this one, and actually gave him enough points to upgrade to Cat 3 after this. So great job to him.
All right, so how did you win?
So there was three in front of me as we were approaching the 250 meter mark. Drew was one of them. He came around the turn in first over there at Taylor, and then two other guys were up there, and I kind of gave a little effort and got up to the two other guys and hung on to them for just a second as we were approaching the 250, and then Steve Welling came around me, and I jumped on his wheel, and I rode it until he kind of gassed out a little bit. He had some actually a mechanical issue. I think that was what happened to him, and then after that I just gave it everything I had, got on your wheel for a split second to grab a draft, and then just gave it everything I had to the finish line.